I know it's God's will, you know. I'm empty inside.
A family trying to find the strength after a couple is killed less than 2 hours apart in two separate crashes. Those crashes happened overnight Friday. Now their families are preparing to lay the couple to rest.
Good evening to you, friends. Greg and Elizabeth here with you. Dion Guillory spoke with their family tonight and has their story. Hey, Dion.
Hey, Greg. The couple was building a future together, ready to get married. Separate tragedies took them, leaving behind their 4-year-old son.
I love them. I'm going to miss both of them. And I'm going to find the strength to go ahead.
Holding back tears, the families of Alexis Lee and John J.R. Collins remember the engaged couple's lives cut short. His parents holding hands while we talked about their whirlwind romance.
He loved Alexis as well as everybody else who knew her.
It was a different feeling. And it's like I know a part of me gone.
The couple, set to get married early next year, died overnight last Friday in separate crashes. State police say Alexis lost control of her SUV and crashed on Plank Road near Lemon Road in Zachary. You can still see damage left behind to this ditch. We are told investigators called JR to tell him what happened. On his way to the crash scene, troopers say he lost control of his car on Plank Road just outside the town of Clinton. He hit this tree, was ejected, and died. They leave behind their 4-year-old little boy, Gabriel.
He's just having a little problem comprehending that we can't talk to them, we can't see them, but he understands that they're asleep.
Alexis was a recent Southern University grad who taught at East Feliciana STEAM Academy. JR was a truck driver who loved sports cars. The couple just bought a new home. Despite the tragedy, their love lives on through their son.
The two families will blend, and we will do whatever it takes to give him a good life.
The family is having a celebration of life for the couple tomorrow morning. It starts at 11 at East Feliciana STEAM Academy on Plank Road in Clinton. Greg.
All right.
Okay, shalom, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoyim La Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. I just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Shah Khanan Nawaf, just coming at you with another quick lesson. Praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And that's the Lord, man. Hebrews 10 and 31, it says, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. And that's very true. I mean, because you can't. Matter of fact, the Father even said it was the will of God. And he was right about that, because let's get Proverbs 20 and 24. And Christians don't know this stuff, man. Matter of fact, I don't have the Good News translation in this particular iPhone, but I got my other phone here. I would like to check it out and see what it says in that Good News translation as well. But in the KJV, regular KJV, Proverbs 20 and 24, man's goings of Yahweh, how can a man then understand his own way? So your goings of the Lord, you matter of fact, it's a scripture that talks about how you can make plans, but it's up to the Lord as to whether or not those plans are going to go through. So they were talking about getting married, and people don't say if it's the Lord's will. A lot of people don't. I try and practice it. You know, it's something that we all should practice, because matter of fact, a couple of chapters over right here, chapter 27, it says, boast not thyself of tomorrow. Verse 1, Proverbs 27 and 1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring. So you're making plans, you're saying all these things. We're going to do this by next year. We're going to do this by next week. We're going to do this tomorrow, this, that, and the third. But what you should be saying is, matter of fact, I have that precept in here too. Let me see. James, chapter 14, chapter 4, 13 through 16. And I actually have Acts chapter 18 through 18 and 21 as well. Let me see here. Let's get to James 4 and 13. But yeah, you should say it's the Lord's will and be sincere about it. But a lot of people, when they be praying anyway, they're generally praying to the idol white Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Which is an idol. So you're not getting anything out of that anyway, except for placing a target on your damn back for the Lord to destroy you, because the Lord, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus, his name is Yahweh. He's not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy. If he was walking the earth today, he would be a Negro. And it does make a difference as to who he really is, what's his name, and how he really looked, because he came in the volume of the book. It's all about the truth. You can't just say it doesn't matter what he looked like. You can't just say he loved everybody when the scriptures don't actually say that. He only came for the children of Israel. And that's according to Matthew 15 and 24, right out of his mouth. So the Lord's name is Yahweh. So you have to get that name right. And the Father's name is Yahweh. So when you're praying, you want to say Yahweh willing. Or in the Hebrew, Yahweh Ratazah. If it's the Lord's will, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do such and such, such and such. And that's just me just thinking about, okay, they were supposed to get married. They had already bought a house. They had these plans and this, that, and the third. But guess what? They made the plans, but they didn't come to fruition because the Lord didn't allow it to. Okay, but this is James 4 and 13. It says, go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow, we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor. See that? They life is a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. See that? But now ye rejoice in your boasting. All such rejoicing is evil. So it's evil to actually make plans and not say if it's the Lord's will. And you can't be saying, well, if it's Jesus' will, no, you can't. You got to get rid of that Jesus crap. All that shit is idolatry, man. The Lord's name is not Jesus. There was no letter J when the Lord walked the earth, and it matters. You can't just say, well, it don't matter. He know my heart. No. You better be calling on the right name, because if somebody call you, say somebody call you on your phone right now, and you answer, you pick up, and you're like, hello. And the person on the other side of the line is like, well, thinking about going to get some hamburger, whatever the case may be, whatever it is the conversation, just start the conversation. You like, well, who is this? And they never give you a name, and you're not familiar with the voice, and they just never give you a name. They'll never say anything to you about, like, who is it? You keep asking them, who is it? You're going to hang up. You're going to be like, then the next time they even call back, guess what? You're not going to even pick up. They may leave a damn text message. They may leave a voicemail. You're going to block their asses. So when it comes to the Lord, it's far more important than your ass, trying to figure out somebody else on the other side of a phone call. I'm just saying, it's very important that you know the true names of the Father and Son. Now I know, just the way that this lesson is going, that's what, the Spirit is hitting me with to, get in a practice of saying, if it's the Lord's will, I'm going to do such and such, such and such, And like I said, again, the older gentleman, he was right about it being the Lord's will. Now, I have it in the Good News translation, that very verse, Proverbs 20 and 24 says, the Lord has determined our path. How then can anyone understand the direction his own life is taking? So the Lord has already determined our path. Everything has been predestined. You know what I'm saying? Everything, the Lord has already predestined everybody's run, man. Their lot is already, it was already created from the beginning. Now, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, let me get this real quick. Job, what is it? I think it's chapter 33. Let me see. Yep. Job 33 and 15. Now, check this out. It says, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instructions. So while you sleep at night, he's opening the ears of men and sealing your instructions for your following day. That's hey, it is what it is, but you cannot get around it, man. You cannot get around that. Let me see. It was another one that I had, and let me go back and get that other one. Oh no, I'm in the wrong chapter. Nope, that wasn't the one. Oh, that was chapter 27, Salakia. Oh, Acts 18 and 21. Let's jump to that real quick, see what that one was. Kind of be taking notes in my, throw them in there when I come across a precept. Oh, okay, I see. But this was one of the journeys of Paul. But bade them farewell, saying, I must by all means keep this feast that cometh in Jerusalem, but I will return again unto you if God will. See? And he sailed from Ephesus. So, it's important to say if it's the Lord's will. And also, let's jump off into the fact that it was the Lord that actually done both of them up. And, ooh, that's a cold way to go. Boy, that's cold. That right there in itself, if that don't let you know that there's a power in the universe, we know the true name of the Father, Yahweh, and his son, Yahweh Shai. We know that it's his, he's running everything. But if you just an unbeliever and you don't know no better type of deal, if a story like this don't let you know that there is a power in the universe that can make something like this, only a power can, something of a higher power has to make something like that happen. The timing of that was just so cold. And then he was already, basically seems as if he found out like 2 hours or so later, because, of course the police got to get there. They got to, maybe go through her purse, check her ID. Okay, we got an ID. Let's see where, what I'm saying, her plates and tabs and stuff like that come up to as far as an address. We can get into the next of kin, this, that, and the third. Probably seeing that, he was another person that was on the address since they both had the home. But that took a process of time for them to actually do all that. Because first off, they got to render, what I'm saying, whatever aid that they can to her. So within those 2 hours or so, he finding out 2 hours later what had happened, jumped into his car with no damn seatbelt on, and he zooms away. Neither one of them had on a seatbelt. And I'm not saying that a seatbelt would have mattered, because right here, Deuteronomy 32 and 39, it says, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. See? So the seatbelts wouldn't have done nothing anyway, because it was the will of the Lord for them to be taken that day. And they was right, and because in the article it says that they were asleep, and that that they were with God, and that's scriptural as well, because in Ecclesiastes right here, 12 and 7, it says, this is what happens when you pass away. It says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. So they was right about them being asleep, because no one actually really, a spirit never dies. The Father is the Father of spirits. The Most High Yahweh, he's the Father of spirits. Those spirits are always active or alive, you know what I'm saying? Because it's complete energy. The body decomposed, but your spirit, it clearly says that your spirit goes back to the God that made it, that gave it. So the hell doctrine that these pastors be teaching, that there's some burning place on the ground, that's not biblical. That's not true. Everyone goes. Matter of fact, the scripture talks about, it's another precept on that. Where is it? Salakia, bear with me. Yeah, I know it's in Job too. Salakia, bear with me. Let me see if I can. Trying to think how it's worded. No, it's in the book of Job somewhere. Yep, here it is. It's in chapter 3. You start right here. So he's, if you're familiar with the book of Job, he's going on this rant, as to not wanting to be born, this, that, and the third, or why didn't he die, untimely birth, you know what I'm saying, as far as, never making it out of his mother, so to speak, roughly paraphrasing. In verse 16, Job 3 and 16, it says, or as or as hidden untimely birth I had not been, as infants which never saw light. There, check it out, this is the point. There the wicked cease from troubling. See, so even the wicked are there. And there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and the great are there. And the servant is free from his master. Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter soul. So basically the point is, everyone goes to the spirit world. They're you die, your body decomposed, basically, but as soon as you die, your spirit is leaving that body. And that spirit is pure energy. That's why the body gets cold when that pure fire leaves out of you, basically. Right? And then when you go into the account of Saul, King Saul, when he went to a medium or like a witch to call up Samuel back from the dead, so to speak. And Samuel was, he was in the spirit world. He was with the Father. And Saul used a witch to call him basically back into this world in the spirit. And Saul told him straight up, Samuel, the prophet, told him, hey, look, today you're going to be with me. You and your son. So if you remember the count of King Saul, the very first king, or the very first recorded king, because Moses was actually the first king of Israel. But the very first recorded king, King Saul, him and his two sons, they all ended up dying the same day, and their spirit went back to the spirit world. And Saul was wicked because the Lord had took his spirit away from Saul and sent an evil spirit upon Saul. You can read that, so. These Christians don't teach the scriptures properly. That's why a lot of people don't have a healthy fear or reverence of the Lord, because they're thinking that the Lord loves everything. He loves everybody. I'm saved by grace, that do as thou wilt, come as you are, spirit. The Lord is not dealing with that, man. The Lord would judge you, and he would take you out of here in a very special way, because this was a special setup for these two. And also, what hit me, and the reason why I went to this particular, because I was kind of looking, this is a secondary one right here, article. I was trying to go off into it. Let me see. Because the original one was in the New York Post that I grabbed. But I was trying to see, why in the fuck was she out at 2 a.m.? The story didn't say. It didn't say whether she was coming from work. It didn't say she was, leaving a party or whatever the case may be. But to be out at 2 a.m. as a woman, and it's not for a good reason, that's crazy in itself. So basically, let's just say she was out, which I'm speaking as a man. If she was out just gadding abroad, just out, just partying with her homegirls, just out, doing this, that, and the third at 2 a.m. in the morning, and he rushes to this accident and he's ejected from his damn car, rushing to her accident, then, that would be foul play pretty much on her end type of deal. Because she should have been at the crib if it wasn't for important business. And, we live in Esau's kingdom, where let's just say she was at work and she was leaving work. Or let's just say she was on her way to work and she had that type of shift, or 2 a.m. to whatever shift. Hell, who knows? Either way, you're living in Esau, Edom's kingdom, and it's fucked up that you would have to even a woman would even have to go to work like that, But anyway, her being out at that time of the night, and him rushing like that, because it's damn near 4 a.m. while he's speeding to her, trying to speed to her. But he should have already knew, okay, what are you doing all this speeding for? You might as well just, throw your damn seatbelt on and do the speed limit. Because other than that, he could have got pulled over anyway. And then what, you going to outrun the police? Now the police on your ass. You a Negro. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much looking as if you're, trying to escape the damn police, driving fast as hell. When accidents like that happen, you want to take your time getting there, because there's nothing you can do. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to, what kind of aid are you about to render? If they're calling you, the emergency services are calling you to let you know what's going on. Obviously, they already have things under wraps. You're not going to be able to even get to her unless they allow you to even get to her anyway. So what are you going to do by rushing and trying to get there like that? So that's where self-control comes in at. You know what I'm saying? He should have, ruled over his spirit, which that goes off into, I'm trying to think what scripture that is. We have to just type it in. No, it's in Proverbs. I should know this one too. And not losing your wits, man, over these women like that. I get it, though. You know what I'm saying? You about to get married and all this, that, and the third. But still, man, goddamn, you know. And again, no one's thinking about the little boy. Like, man, let me take my time. I get they said he was in the sports cars, and that very love. And you know what? People, they put those cars above a lot of things. That can be an idol to you too. A car is a lot of people. Their cars, their idol. They're, money is their idol. Things, sparkling and glittery things are their idols. But this is Proverbs 16:32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city. So, you want to rule over your spirit in whatever area it is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's going on, ruling your spirit, having a calm head, and definitely praying. I'm sure he was praying to white Jesus on his way. But hey, that's not getting you anywhere, man. You need to be praying to Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai, man? Yahweh in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names of the Father and Son, man. Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. That's very, very important. Because if you calling on sweet white baby Jesus, that's an idol. The Lord, he probably ejected that nigga from the car while he was praying in the name of white Jesus, man. But you need to rule over your spirit when it comes to don't be hasty in your spirit. Scriptures talks about that. You don't want to just make a rash move. A lot of people get fucked up like that. And that's pretty much what happened with him overall, because he should have just went ahead and just, shit, okay, you doing 5 over. You're doing 10 over. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you're trying to, it's an emergency, you know what I'm saying? But still, me personally, I mean, I would have liked to have thought that, okay, I'm just going to do the speed limit until I get there, because what are you going to do? What can you do? There's nothing you can do. If she's in the ambulance and already being taken to the hospital, why are you speeding and rushing there? Like, what are you gonna do? You rushing in, you pushing through the doors, you trying to get out and mumble the words of what the name is of the person you trying to see, and all this other shit, huffing and puffing. Come on, bro. Not a good look. Now the little boy is the grandparents seem like they, some decent grandparents. Because at least they were together. But the thing of it is, hey, actually, it was probably mercy it was mercy on both of them to go out the way that they did, even if they went out the way that they did. Because what's about to come to this earth, what's about to come to this America, this planet, the things that the Lord is about to do to America with these thermonuclear weapons that's about to come this way and burn out everything. Their little boy is going to be here for that. He's going to get torched if you know what I'm saying. If, he's not covered, overall, you know what I'm saying, by overall. If he's just not a part of the elect, I'll put it that way. Because I'm pretty sure his grandparents, they believe in white Jesus. Because the old man, he was sitting there, he was talking, overall, our people here, the ones that's calling themselves Christians, they believe in white Jesus. They believe in an idol. And the Lord is going to destroy them. And they have that zeal for Yahweh. They have that zeal for God, but it's not according to knowledge. And it's not going to help them. So, I'm going to end out, man. I just seen this, and I was just trying to go off into some extras. Just trying to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck was this? What was she doing out at 2 a.m.? What was she doing out at 2 a.m., bro? Here she go. Here's her I'm trying to think. I guess maybe is this where she graduated from, or is this where she was teaching at? Either way, she's out of here. He's out of here. And when I seen this article, I seen it yesterday actually, but here they go right here. And I'm just thinking like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? She died in a car accident. He dies in a car accident trying to get to her car accident. You can't make that up, man. That's a special, you know, the Lord, that's a specialty right there. That's a 2-for-1 right there for real. And the Lord's ways are higher than our ways, man. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. You could never fathom why the Lord would do this. You know, but we do know. Damn, bird shitting all over my whip, man. We do know that, Slocky. Trying to get this shit off before it dry. Slocky. I kind of lost my little place on what I was about to say there. But anyway, man, you know, another one bites the dust. We're praying to this is why it's so important to pray to Yehovah Shem Shah for mercy. We always say pray without ceasing. And never get into your vehicle. You know, when you get into your vehicle, you should be putting that damn seatbelt on. That's just because we're following the laws of the land. But also, you know, if you're going to pray to the Lord to keep you safe, you know, you go